One of the great things about the hobby of restoring and doing custom diecast is something will always surprise you. Don't go away. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Indeed, something will always reach out and surprise you. Maybe it's a good surprise, maybe it's not so good, whatever. But there's always something new and exciting in store that you didn't see coming. Today is a build that I just didn't really see it coming. Let's get to work. So today I'm going to bust out a Hot Wheels whipped creamer. Now, I've wanted to do this car for a long time. I don't really know why, because fantasy cars are really not my bag, but there was just something about this casting that was calling my name. Now, I don't really have any big spectacular plans for it, and that's why this is going to surprise me a little bit. It's just going to be a straight up restoration, nothing fancy. So, at the end, I'm going to be taken a little bit aback by it. But hey, it is what it is. Let's move forward. So to start things off, I'll go ahead and get this car taken apart using my shielded drilling technique. It's going to work great on this casting because the car has wonderful little pockets to help hold the Vix Bit in place. So a little bit of oil in the pocket, pop the Vix Bit in there, and drill this car apart. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, getting the casting apart, and I'm going to be surprised at what I find inside because, yeah, it's got a base, and it's a good base. Cap style wheels, which I love. Good suspension board. Everything's working here. Just needs a cleanup and some new wheels. But when I get inside, a couple things. First of all, the interior, it's bent right in the middle. I'm going to have to fix that. And then also, I'm starting to find out that this little silver piece is not part of the plastic interior. It's actually an entire separate piece that will pop off. So I can get rid of that. And then just using a little pressure from my hands, I'm going to counterbend the interior part to straighten it out. And oddly enough, that's going to work great. I actually surprised myself. I didn't think there was any chance this would work, but it did. So we've got the interior, the little silver piece, and the turbine, the body, and the glass. And one of the reasons I picked this casting is because I do have spare parts for it. I have a new glass, and I have a new turbine. So, yeah, this is going to be a fairly easy build for me to do. So a little dab will do ya on each post, a little bit of the oil so that they'll drill out better. I'll drill the posts out, tap them so that they'll take a 1/72nd screw. This way I can put the car back together when I'm done. So I know why I love the tap handle from Bright Vision. It's because it's so small and so light that just the slightest turn and it will hold itself up. These big honking things, If you turn it and not turn it enough and let go of it, it's going to fall right out. You got to start all over again. Well, you don't have to do that with the Bright Vision handle. Just a little bit of a turn, it's going to hold itself in place and make it so much easier for you to tap out the post. So here's some sad news about the worm liquid goo, okay? See how mine is kind of like jelly looking, kind of almost translucent? All I can find now is these jugs of the same stuff, but it's kind of creamy and milky looking. I hate it. So I'm really sad, and I'm trying desperately to find some of this translucent warm liquid goo to keep my stash up. When I find it, I'm going to buy every bit I can get. So I need new glass, and I was pretty sure I already have glass for it and a turbine, so I just need to dig through my stash and find the piece that I have. And it's right here, and it's clear. It's a clear piece instead of this blue piece, and that is going to come into play at the end big time. So this Flitz calcium, lime, and rust is amazing stuff. Okay, calcium, rust, and lime. Sorry, I can't read. I'm dyslexic. This is my new best friend, okay? Seriously, okay? This base, I'm going to spritz this on, and then in the walk from my work table to the sink to wash it off, it will have done the job. This base is going to look amazing. I wouldn't even need to polish it if I didn't choose to. It's amazing stuff. Literally seconds, okay? So I'm going to put links for that down below and on my Amazon store, so you can go there by going to www.amazon.com/shop/Paul Udelis, and you'll be able to find this Flitz calcium, lime, and rust remover. It is amazing stuff. I mean, just look at this base. It's shining like a diamond, and it was so stinking easy. Man, this is going to look fantastic. Okay, so the base is clean. I have polished it, even though I really didn't need to. Now I want to protect it from future tarnish, and I'm going to do that by using my Renaissance wax. I'm just going to go ahead and smear it all over with my finger, buff it off, and that will protect this base from future tarnish happening to the base and making it look inky stinky. A little tip here. If you get it down into some grooves and you can't kind of get it out when you're buffing it out, just grab like a clean toothbrush and, brush it out, and that'll be fine. But mainly between my finger and the microfiber towel, that's all I really need. So hub wheels are great, but cap style wheels are the best. And if I did nothing but cap style builds from now on, I would be very happy. These things are so easy to work with. Love them. All I got to do is put a razor knife in between the back and the front of the cap style wheel, give it a little twist, it pops the cap off, and then all I have to do is take the new ones that I get from Bright Vision and pop them on. So here's another surprise. That little center part for the motor where the turbine sits, it's metal. I had no idea. Now, I knew that this car was heavy, and I really dig Hot Wheels that are heavier. I like the ones that you can kind of drop it on the table lightly and it bounces around on its suspension, and this is one of those cars. And I'm sure having a metal motor helps with its weight. But yeah, I had no idea. So I treated it the same as the base. I hit it with the Flitz, then I rinsed it, wire brushed it, polished it, and now I'm just going to go ahead and protect it with the Renaissance wax. But yeah, I was absolutely surprised to find that this was not just a silver painted plastic piece. You know, as long as I'm doing it, the body's not in terrible shape, but hey, why not hit that up with the Flitz as well? So I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the Flitz calcium lime and rust, and then I'll wash it, and then I'll polish it with the regular Flitz polish, and we should have a great base for putting a new coat of paint on here. I feel like I'm not speaking well tonight. I feel like I'm misspeaking a lot of words. We have a rule in our house that if you misspeak, you will be mocked. And so if I'm not saying words correctly or clearly and you're giggle snorting at me while you're watching this video, go for it because that's a standing rule in my world, so I can live with it. But anyhow, I got the base all cleaned up. I used the Flitz calcium, and it worked great. But we're going to make the body even better by putting a little bit of the Flitz polish on there and use a polishing wheel on my rotary tool, and we're going to get this really shined up. Now, I've told you about the polishing wheels I use, and you can find those on my Amazon shop. These don't shed all those hairs like those little fiber discs do. I love these things. They're so great. But like any polishing wheel, they will fling the Flitz polish around. So I am wearing an apron that my wife got me for Christmas from Duluth Trading. It is fantastic. This thing is like ironclad. I love it. And I wear it when I do stuff like this because, frankly, I was getting tired of ruining all my clothes. Okay, I told you that this was going to be a straight up restoration, and so I'm going to turn to the Redline shop for some of their purple Spectraflame paint. And I'm going to go ahead and mix this up, draw out as much as I need, and then I'm going to hit it up with some of their hardener and mix this up. Now, because it's a restoration, it's not going to get clear coat, but it really isn't going to need it, as you'll see. If you mix the Spectraflame paint with the hardener properly, it's going to give you a wonderful glossy finish. Normally, I like to take it one step further with that clear coat, but not when I'm doing a strict restoration like I'm going to do here today. So this is what it's going to get. It's going to get this paint, and that's it. So the paint job goes on as always with mist coats, the medium coats, and then I really get the glossy wet look by putting it down in a nice heavy wet layer. The trick is to be able to see the paint laying down so you don't overdo it and get a run, okay? So for that, you're going to need excellent lighting, and you're going to have to practice so that you can see that paint laying down. I think the purple is actually my favorite Spectraflame color. It always comes out great. And frankly, I would probably just paint every car I do Spectraflame purple just because they always look good. Have you noticed how little I do of antifreeze? I hate that color. Purple, favorite. Antifreeze, my dreaded enemy. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. All right, the paint is dry, everything's cleaned up and ready to go, and I can go ahead and put this car back together. Now, in a moment or two, that's when I'm really going to be surprised. I'm going to really be caught unawares here because I don't see what's coming. All right. So I'm going to get all the parts out and I'll go ahead and start putting this together and then we'll talk about the surprise at the end. So everything's ready and I'm taking the screws out of the posts. And now I can go ahead and start putting this together. And I got to tell you, putting it together was a little bit harder than I anticipated because you've got to get that little motor piece into the interior. Then you got to get the little turbine in there. And then you got to trap that all in with the glass. Then you got to get all of that put into the body and then trap that in with the base and get it all screwed together. And frankly, it's a little bit like wrangling a bag of snakes. And you know, I struggled. I got big old fat ham fingers, and it made it a little bit of a challenge. But I got through it, and I got it together. Lately, I have been using all 172 screws instead of the 256 just because they're smaller, and I've been running into this non-stop parade of tiny, tiny posts, and so I need the smaller screws. But they work just as good, and we get it together, and this is where I'm really going to be taken aback. This is stinking beautiful. It is so stunning. I had no idea that this was going to happen. I really didn't, honestly. I thought it would be a nice car. I thought you would enjoy the video. I had no idea how beautiful this was going to look. Look at that. Man, I love the purple and that clear glass. Love it. It just takes it to a whole new level. This thing came out great, and it is now absolutely one of my favorite restorations ever. So here it is, the whipped creamer. And I got to tell you, I really wanted to do one of these, but man, I never saw this coming. This is bad, okay? It looks so nice. I'm just I could not be happier with it. The body style of this is a great showcase for a beautiful paint job, and the replacement glass being clear really features the internal workings here. And man, this thing is just stunning. One of my absolute all-time favorite restorations. Absolutely, without question. I love the color. I love the look. I love the feel. I love the weight. I love everything about it. And like I said, I just never saw it coming. Yeah, it's a Hot Wheel I wanted to restore. I didn't know it was going to be this. Really didn't. I love it, and I hope you loved it too. If you did, give this a giant thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to squash the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I love to hear from you guys. But that's going to wrap it up for today. I really had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. So, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions. Until next time, saying, be good.